What's up? This is your host Non-Fungible TC, Non-Fungible today and Non-Fungible tomorrow. And I'm starting my stream earlier because I do want to prepare my viewers on what to expect, right? The US CPI, if you have been watching the news or if you have been watching the market, is coming out, okay? So the US CPI is basically the consumer price index. It really shows you whether inflation is under control in the US or not. And actually the price index for July is gonna come up. So in July, the US CPI also came out, and what happened was that I want to remind you what happened, okay? So this could help us really prepare for what to expect in like an hour or two, okay? So this index is gonna come out at a 8:30 Eastern time, okay? So 8:30 Eastern time is around like 1 hour and 30 minutes, okay? Sorry, 1 hour and 15 minutes, okay? Sorry. Yeah, so basically what happened is that this is the time is gonna come out at 8:30 Eastern time. The forecast percentage is 8.7. So basically what happened last month is that when this index came out, the forecast was 8.8, and then this index was just slightly, right, just 0.3% above the forecast. And look at this is what happened, right? We had like right before leading up to 8:30 Eastern time, we have a huge pump. So this is Bitcoin of 19,751 all the way pumped to 20,117. Then right when the number came out, what happened was that it dumped all the way down to 19,030 bucks. And then within the next day, it basically pumped back before the dump, right? So it really shows you that these announcements would cause great volatility. And usually when these volatility, so unfortunately, when you look at this, right, the dump is actually somewhere here, which is a previous support, okay? So basically what it means is that even though sometimes what happens is that sometimes retailers would get trapped when it pumps because some people are not aware of the news. They'll say, hey, Bitcoin is rallying, you're gonna break 20,000, okay, back then, right? They're gonna buy here, experience this huge dump or have a stop loss in play, lose all the money, and then within just a day, basically it just rallies back up, right? So it really makes retail lose a lot of faith, right? So what I want to share with you today is that yes, we're gonna see a volatility, and when you see things pumping right before the announcement, don't FOMO into it, okay? Don't FOMO into it because we do not know if it's like a pre-pump that could result in a huge dump, right? What you should do instead is to actually prepare, maybe set some buy orders in the low. But then the question is, if you really want to trade this, how can you decide on the low, right? So right now, from what we see here, this is actually like a previous support, right? If we look at this is a 15 minutes. So there were several times it hit the previous support. But at what range should you expect to set your, buy orders, right? So what I usually do is that I'll go to the exchange and then I'll go here. So this is basically Bitcoin. We are now at 23,000-ish. So we are hovering sideways, slightly going back up, but we did have a deleverage, right? And I do want to warn all of us, in the short term, things are bearish, right? Elon Musk sold his Tesla stock. The BlackRock CEO sold BlackRock stocks. You have a lot of billionaires trying to front running retail, right? And also we are right now at a retail high of retail buying tech stocks, right? So right now retail is actually buying quite high, like an exit liquidity for these billionaires. So there's a lot of different type of factors that does not play well in a short term macro wise, right? But regardless, what I want to share with you is that if you do want to trade this, and if you have conviction, and if you do not mind holding your bags, right? What you can do is that you can go to an order book, and then if you look at the order book, you'll see different buy orders and sell orders, right? So sell orders, you can actually look at these huge sell orders, and then you can actually draw trend lines to see that, okay, these are gonna be some resistance, right? So basically, if it does pump, it will take a lot of volume in order to hit different type of resistance. But if you are planning to trade like the low, right, to catch if there's a dump, right, what you can do is you can use the buy order, maybe set like 50 bucks at first, right? And then you can start seeing these buy orders, right? You can start to see where the money is piled up, right? And then you make your own bet, right? For example, if you think that, hey, the index is gonna be bad, it's gonna cause a huge dump, then maybe you'll look at this, right? 265 Bitcoin buy orders over here. in 22,000, right? Which is like a rounded up number, right? Or you could say, hey, I don't think it will hit that low. Then you could decide on maybe some other support points, right? So rather than buying right now, you are well positioned, right? You are well positioned to maybe set like a buy order at 22,000. What happens is at 22,000, if you look at this, right? 22,000 is around here, okay? So maybe set it here. If it does dump, you catch the dump. And then if, you know, the rally recovers, you know, the market recovers, it goes back up, then you could have a short-term trade, right? So yeah, just wanted to share this with you. And our expected forecast right now is 8.7. So what happens, okay? So Bitcoin-based US inflation data, CPI, knows how Bitcoin price gains. So yesterday I was saying that, hey, we were having some dump yesterday. If we look at 4 hours, basically, let's close this and then let us refresh the chart. Yesterday we kind of had a dump and then we are now going back up. Oh, sorry, this is not 4 hours. So this is let's say 1 hour, right? So yesterday the market went up, boom, huge, like not a huge dump, but it kind of went down, right? And the reason for that is that because it was actually because of Coinbase result announcement, which I'm going to talk about. And also it is actually because of the CPI where people want to de-risk themselves and maybe catch the dump that we could potentially see, but not financial advice, right? So basically what happened is that, you know, it could get ugly if CPI keep rising, right? So what you have to know is that if the CPI is below 8.7%, it's going to be bullish. If it's 8.7 to 9.1, neutral, slightly bearish. If it's more than 9.1, definitely bearish. So if you see the numbers, if it's 9.1, then you know people are just gonna run, people are gonna dump, market is gonna dump, equities is gonna dump at the futures trading. Yes. So definitely guys, if you want to trade this, and also at the same time, Bitcoin is testing a critical support level in the 4 hours 200 EMA, right? So right now you see this trend line. So right now Bitcoin is supporting, like being at a support level. So what happens is that if Bitcoin does dump below the support level, and if that relief rally does not go back up to support level in the short term, what happens is that we could have a chance of following it back to the previous support in a longer time frame, which is a 4 hours time frame, which is around 21,000, right? And therefore, if you go here, and it kind of makes sense in the sense that some people want to defend the support level, so 22,000, okay. And sorry, they didn't want to defend the support level. Basically, the support level is at 22.7K. So yeah, sorry, yeah, it is around this level, right? 22,070 here, right? So if it does break here, there's a chance that it might go back all the way to 21,000, right? And you even have people buying at 20,000, right? So it kind of gives you like super bearish scenario, 20,000, you know, maybe some dump and then pump, maybe 20,000. So, you know, act accordingly, according to your risk as well, or maybe just stand out of the market, like, cause this is going to be a very volatile market. But basically, based on previous data, I just shown you what happened last time is that right before the announcement, the market rallied and then just dumped so badly, and then it just pumped immediately, like in like an hour or two as the market continues to you know, trade. So just want to share this with you. Have some you know, just expect, you know, what could happen if we break the support level. So the support level is actually 22.7 thousand. Okay. So but at the same time, if you really look at cryptocurrency, what is happening right now for Ethereum today, is that I talked about it yesterday, right? If you look at Ethereum, what will happen is that there is this upcoming testnet merge that will happen in 9 hours. So not exactly today, but it'll be today evening US time. And if this testnet merge is successful, it could create bullish momentum for Ethereum because Ethereum 2.0 is definitely coming. There's not going to be a delay. So maybe a better way to play this is that assuming that Bitcoin is, you know, greatly correlated with the NASDAQ, and it drags all the altcoin down, but if Ethereum is able to, you know, do the merge, successful merge, it could maybe have less volatility, or maybe the chances of it going back up is slightly higher. So personally, I'm only looking at Ethereum, but that's my approach because of the narrative. You have to understand this market is driven by narratives and market sentiment, right? So if you look at the markets right now, pre-market, stocks future notch higher. So as we said, like before in July, it did go up, rally, and a huge dump, right? So people are bracing for inflation data, but you do see a headline. So basically, what happened last time is that the White House or the inflation data was kind of leaked, right? It was leaked like a 10% or something like that. It caused a dump and then rally up, and then people would say it was leak, but it did not really leak. So what I think is that because this time there isn't any leak, there's a potential that we might see what we expected, right? But not financial advice. We don't know the future. But at the same time, you do have, the press saying that, hey, actually, the inflation data might not be as worse as expected, right? Critical inflation report could show price increases have eased, right? So maybe the inflation isn't as worse as we expected. Maybe we get what we expected, and then the market can continue its bullish rally, right? But definitely prepare for both scenarios that I just talked about. So moving on to crypto news. So crypto news, the global market cap is at 1.09 trillion. Okay, so definitely the market, the money did come back into the crypto market. If you look at the market cap for a stablecoin, it did reduce. So compared to like a 900 billion, we do have some liquidity back in the market, but it is still quite shaky. I think like, if you ask me, I don't think we have seen the lowest low yet, right? The macro environment looks terrible. Right now, what I think is that we're heading like we have faith, right? We have faith that Ethereum 2.0 is bullish. And therefore, we have this a narrative that makes us feel bullish, right? And a lot of retail trader could be bullish because, oh, Ethereum 2.0 is coming. But what if Ethereum 2.0 really does come? Maybe what if there's some technical issues that could be a cause? What if there's like a fork chain, like there's a two chains happening at the same time, causing some other issues that could also be possible? What if the narrative is simply not there, right? After 2.0, this year we have no major updates or tech updates related to the blockchain. That personally, in my opinion, could cause further downside, right? Maybe that could, if you still believe in the narrative of cryptocurrency, maybe at those downside without the 2.0 narrative could be a good time to go. But I do believe that the lower low, like the lowest, we might not be at the bottom yet, right? But when we do hit the bottom, it's gonna be a quick wick down, because we do have a lot of money on the sidelines, right? Look at the stable coins. We have, so many stable coins and the sidelines just waiting to come into the market once they really feel the lower low, right? And also we have a lot of crypto influencers saying that a lot of buy orders for Bitcoin is actually at 12,000. So interesting to see that if you look at this, right? So that was in Coinbase, but we look at this, if we look at Bitcoin, right? We do have a lot of buy orders in the lower ranges, right? So definitely, I think a lot of money, institutional or maybe retail, is just waiting to buy at the super lower low, and then they think that the market will go back up. I think that they would buy the super low, it goes sideways, market never follows you. And then as the economy becomes better, as COVID lockdown are reduced or COVID is no longer a thing, and also if the war is over, then we would truly have a recovery. And that is my timeline. So yeah, cryptocurrency, in general, things are down. Interesting to see Nexo at a 12% increase. I think they had a huge increase a while back, but now slowly retracing. So on-chain data, nothing much to show. We are still not too bad in terms of the total market cap. But at Bitcoin dominance, if we look at this, did go down a little bit. So which is kind of worrying. I think Ethereum dominance is kind of heading upwards, but one of the worrying thing is that if Bitcoin dominance is getting lower and lower, it will become weak, and it is more easier to go to the downside, right? And then which could drag the odds down and then reducing the overall market cap, right? So on-chain data, nothing much. I do want to share with you some market sentiment. According to Luna Crush, let us look at the market sentiment, right? So in the last 24 hours, these are the opinion. How do you feel about Bitcoin today? 72% buy. How do you feel about Ethereum today? 68% buy. Okay. So it really shows you that actually the market, especially on the platforms like this, people are bullish in general. But we really click into it, right? Some people are talking about HODL. Some people are like sell or avoid, and no opinion 2.17, right? So, and this is actually a poll for 2,578. So you do you, I think, it did go down a few days ago. It was actually 75 if I remember correctly. So it seems like people are having like a risk averse mentality. And one of the interesting thing on CryptoQuant, I'm not going to talk about on-chain data, it's actually the Quicktakes, and I really do enjoy reading this, is that it does have some, and this is free of charge, you just have to create an account. It gives you like different type of opinion, okay? And also it gives you like, people could vote on whether it's bullish and bearish, and so it really gives you an insight if you want to do more research in the market. Some people think that, oh, holders are escaping the market at break even, so it seems that, oh, maybe holders in long term is kind of bearish, right? So it really gives you some perspective. So these are really good on-chain data, and I really enjoy reading it. So these are just like 3 hours ago, 2 hours ago. So market is in decision situation, but it seems that the rise of the market is not supported. So based on on-chain data, it seems like there might be further downside, right? So you could read this and understand the market, right? So broad market updates. The reason why we did have like a slight dump yesterday, Coinbase post 1 billion net loss in Q2 stock tumbles. So Coinbase is a very retail driven exchange, if you remember, and that's why it went public, right? But recently it was partnering with BlackRock. We're hoping to get more institutional money in it, but it really shows you that actually the market is much more quiet, right? A lot of money have left the market for retailers, especially because they have 1 billion net loss. And, you know, exchanges having like a 1 billion net loss is actually very surprising, because exchanges make the money out of trading volumes, right? So it really gives you a perspective of the space and also why people were selling yesterday. And Ethereum DeFi exchange Curve suffered front end hack. So basically what happened today is that Curve's front end was actually being hacked. It was compromised. And then what happened, it drained $570,000 in USD value. So it really shows you that this is actually quite scary. Because you know you cannot tell whether a front end has been hacked or not, right? So it really gives you the idea of the risk of DeFi, not in the sense that, oh, not only can DeFi, you could lose money if someone drains the protocol using hack, but also they could hack the front end where you connect and approve the token permissions and then send the token to the hacker. So whenever you send tokens, approve stuff, make sure you look at the transaction record just to protect yourself, right? Because, you know, front end could be hacked, and Curve is actually quite a big DeFi protocol. So be careful, guys. So moving on to NFT news. So an interesting NFT news. So for those of you who do not know, Magic Eden is a Solana marketplace. So what they did is that they wanted to build an ApeCoin NFT marketplace just for Bored Ape. So what happened is that so the Bored Ape is actually the ApeCoin is running on a Bored Ape DAO. So people could submit proposals and people can vote on it. So Magic Eden has reviewed a proposal to build an official ApeCoin marketplace for Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs. And then they ruled the so what happened is that they last week announced that they want to expand to the Ethereum NFT space, and now they want to tap into the Bored Ape community. And what they wanted to do is that, according to the proposal, they are going to help the board. Like, of course, it has to be passed by the DAO, right? But what they're saying is that they want to help. First of all, the trading fees would be so very low, like 0.75 for sellers, okay, with a base fee of 1.5 that could be cut, okay, and also a discount for Ape. And at the same time, what they wanted to do is that they want to they made a mock-up already for the marketplace, right? And what they wanted to do is that, you know, instead of asking upfront money, we will build the ApeCoin marketplace for free. Okay, and so my understanding is that they want to build this for free, and then they have transaction volume, and then basically just make money out of the transaction, which is pretty interesting, right? Only things that could help, work in the Web3 space, right? How you have DAO governance, treasury, allocating resources to building marketplace, or you even have teams building stuff for free, hoping to recoup the cost through royalty sales, right? So that is a pretty interesting news. Another interesting news is that ApeCoin, so bullish news or positive news for ApeCoin in terms of utility by trading apes in this ape-specific marketplace backed by Magic Eden. But what happened was that, Machi Big Brother, he was basically dumping ApeCoin. He was dumping his mutant apes. And I'm not sure if he dumped his Bored Ape. And the reason for that is I think he made like a proposal in the Ape DAO, and it didn't gain any traction, so he was angry and he decided to offload his bags, right? Which is quite sad to see, right? So next news, Paris Hilton. So interestingly, we were talking about the consumer group asking celebrities to disclose their NFT holdings and stuff like that yesterday. But today, Paris Hilton announced that she's gonna enter the Sandbox metaverse. There's gonna be experience and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much the headline news for NFT today. Mark Cuban did say buying digital land is the dumbest thing ever. But this was actually from yesterday. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Trade safe. If you are indeed trading, don't that you have to be active, right? Because today is gonna be a big day. Whether Bitcoin makes or break in the short term, what happened today? So this is your host, Non-Fungible TC. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe, and hope this content helped you. And stay safe.